Hello, I'm Corey from Moto Mummy. I know Aaron just did the last video. We asked for comments and suggestions. One was going over the Tech Air versus the D-Air system. So that's what I'm here to do today. I know most people think these have just been out the last few years. Not exactly right. In 1993, Lino Dainese drew on a napkin the first airbag system on a motorcycle rider. Since then, Dainese has been working to bring it to production, take it to MotoGP. I believe around 2007, 2008, they got it in MotoGP and have been since. With that being said, they have about 2,500 activations Dainese does with this airbag system. Alpinestars I talked to has over 700 activations in MotoGP. These have eliminated about 99% of all collarbone breaks for racers, along with major trauma. Back in the heyday, a lot of people got crashed and they're getting flown, having surgeries all the time. Now it's not uncommon to see the same rider fall 3, 4, 5 times, Marquez and Crutchlow, a weekend and still race on Sunday. The energy is the most important thing. Is MotoGP is requiring this now for all riders. You ask why? Due to how safe these are. Right now you'll hear people on the track, your back protector is at level 2, CE level 2. It's the safest you can get. I don't know how much energy during testing they put into the back protectors, but I do know to be CE level 2, it lets through about 20 kilonewtons of energy. Both airbag systems reduce that by over 90%. It brings it to slightly under 2 kilonewtons of energy. They're that much better than CE level 2. It's astronomically better. I'm not going to go over all the details of these. I'll keep it fairly generic. I personally am going to be wearing a custom Dainese suit. I don't fit in a traditional suit, so I had to get a custom suit. Dainese does allow custom D-Air suits to be made. We can actually measure you here at Moto Mummy. Currently, Alpinestars does not have that available. Over in Europe, they are rolling out a custom suit program. And I can't say too much about that for the US, but I will say Tech Air started in Europe and then made its way to America. So you might be able to put 2 and 2 together there. Give them a little time. Since I'm wearing this one, this one's also out. I'm not gonna go over every little detail, such as you can open this to activate it, or open it to deactivate it, close it to activate it. The same with the Dainese here. They each have LED panels. The Alpinestars does on the suit. Right here on the forearm, Dainese does on the shoulder. They both have a lot of similarities, but they also have differences. I'm going to try and focus on those 2 areas, give you a head-to-head comparison. If you just want basic features, you can get that anywhere. With that said, they are both rechargeable by a USB cord. The Dainese, you're going to unzip, plug it straight into the back. With the Alpinestars, you have to take the vest out of the suit and plug it in back here on the back. You also are going to plug your suit into it so that your LED panel on your forearm will light up correctly. Both of these systems also get registered to whoever purchases them. The shop that you purchase from should register it for you or give you information on how to do it, but they need to be registered. That way, if you have a sensor that say that's in a shoulder that they get a bad batch, the manufacturer, be it Alpinestars or Dainese, can contact you and say, send it to us. There's a recall on a sensor. Also, if it ends up stolen for whatever reason, if it goes off, they send it in to get repacked. It won't get repacked or it'll come back to you. It's registered to you. These registrations are also transferable. You can log into your account and transfer it to someone else. Without you doing that, someone's going to have a real problem having any work done on the suit, which means they'll get one explosion out of the airbag and then it's done. The sensors are slightly different between the 2. They both work the same. However, Dainese has 1 GPS, 3 gyros, and 3 accelerometers. The Alpinestars has 1 gyro and 3 accelerometers. You think more sensors is better? Not necessarily, they're just different. Both of these systems are top of the line. I'm comparing a Lamborghini to a Ferrari. The GPS here, again, a pro and a con. It's a pro in that it lets you gather more data. You can actually pull from a Dainese airbag system, download the 2D software off the Dainese website. They have a link, and you can download your lap times, your speed, your acceleration, your deceleration, your lean angle, and the position on the bike or the track with the GPS. The downside of the GPS is you must have a GPS signal for the system to activate. Shouldn't be a problem anywhere in America or anywhere outdoors. If you're inside like we are here, you might not get a GPS signal. Just be aware of that. Alpinestars brags that their system is a totally enclosed system. It does not require a GPS signal to function. It's a pro if you were to lose your GPS signal. On the Dainese, like I said, it should rarely happen. The downside to it is you can't pull that data now. Also with Dainese, if you can think of a problem, they've already addressed it. People say, well, what if I go through a tunnel? The minute the system loses the GPS signal, it does not die. It will stay active for about 2 minutes or longer. Another similarity with both of these systems is if they go off, the airbag goes off, you have to send it to the manufacturer for repackaging. Currently with Alpinestars, you're going to take it out of the suit, package it up, send it to them. It's $299. They'll repackage it, test all the functions, service it, send it to you like new. With Dainese, because it's built into the suit, you have to send the whole suit off. Sounds like a con. That part is. It's also a pro though, because not only will they repackage the airbag, they will service your suit as well. It's going to cost more. There's not a set price for that. Here you take it out of the suit, you're on your own with your suit. Buy a new suit, repair it on your own. Dainese, the manufacturer, will refurbish the suit and the airbag themselves. Both of these systems also go off in the blink of an eye. We're talking milliseconds. They each stay inflated then for about 5 seconds for the crash, and then they will slowly dissipate automatically the air, and you can continue on. When the airbags are fully inflated, you also have full mobility. You can continue riding as you see the MotoGP riders do. If you crash, you can hop on your bike even with it gone off and keep going. So they do each, they're the same in that aspect. However, they're also slightly different when they go off, in that with Dainese, you always get one airbag going off. With Alpinestars, there's 2 different modes, 2 different vests actually. There's a race vest and a street vest. The race vest is all we carry at Motomummy because you can flash the firmware for the race vest or the street vest, giving you both options. The street vest costs the same as the race vest, but it will only accept the street firmware, meaning if you buy a street Tech Air vest, it will only work in apparel designed for Tech Air with their jackets. It will not work in a suit. If you buy the race vest and it comes with the race firmware, it will work in a suit. It will not, should not be worn in a Tech Air compatible jacket until you flash the street firmware. Reason being, the crashes are different. If you're on the track, 5 miles an hour you go down, it doesn't need to go off. There's not enough energy. In fact, with Dainese, because they're GPS, anything under 31 miles per hour or 50 kilometers per hour, it will not go off. There's not enough energy. You don't need it. Save it for when you actually need it. They've tested this with all their racers along with medical boards. With Alpinestars, if you have the race algorithm uploaded, it's different. It's looking for a race type of crash. If you have the street setup flashed for the street, even at 0 miles per hour, we're just sitting still. If it notices an impact, it will go off because you could end up getting rear-ended. Someone can hit you while you're at a stop sign. On the track, that's not really an issue. So with this, the firmware is important. If you put the race setup in this and you get rear-ended, it won't go off. You have to have the street setup if you're on the street. Also, there is a slight difference with the race and the street vest in the cutouts for the armholes. That's about it. Generally, it protects the same area. A key difference with Dainese, though, is they have their race suit, which it will protect along the collarbone, the shoulder, the neck, and then on the Magello R, your floating ribs. Their street setup is entirely different. They don't believe one airbag can work for both situations. On the street, they noticed through medical, contacting all the local hospitals in Europe and a bunch of research boards, that chest trauma was one of the biggest things that killed people. So if you buy one of the D-Air jackets, it will cover the vest. It will be more like the Alpinestars, where the race is going to be more for crashes at the track. Also with the Alpinestars, another key difference is there's 2 canisters in it. In the race firmware, 1 canister will go off per crash. So you will get 2 crashes out of this at the track. On the street, when the street firmware is uploaded into the ECU, basically, the computer, both canisters will go off every time thinking that you need maximum protection due to an impact with a solid object. At the track, one canister goes off, so you're allowed 2 crashes. The one caveat to that is if you buy a 2XL vest designed for someone wearing a size 58 or a 60 suit, regardless of race firmware or the street firmware, it will explode both canisters at the same time due to the size of the vest and the volume required. So that you need to be aware of as well. Alpinestars, as I said, is also modular. Can go in either system, but the suit or the jacket must be Tech Air compatible. This cannot go in any jacket. They actually have extra expansion leather, and the suit's designed for the vest. You're actually going to have a lot more accordion panel, stretch paneling, stuff of that nature, so that when the vest goes off, you're not crushed. Dainese, also their claim to fame, is microfilaments. Their bag I've seen outside of a suit and expanded. It'll expand about 2 inches, and it follows the contours of your body everywhere. And it's hard as a rock. I mean, it's solid. It's like a 2x4 all the way around you. They claim it's not a bag, it's more of a coat of armor. The Alpinestars I have not seen go off. They claim it does the same thing. And their bag also, though, is abrasion resistance. It will actually give you a little bit more protection there, along with puncture. They actually don't even sew their bags together or glue them. They're sonic welded together. It's very high-tech information here that you're dealing with. A lot of people are also aware of the tethered units. Both the Alpinestars and the Dainese, as I said earlier, the brains of the unit is here. This is the important part. They've studied thousands of crashes to determine when the airbag needs to go off. If you're the low side, the tether might not undo. These will still go off depending on how many forces, the accelerometers, the gyro, all the forces that it pick up, and then it'll determine whether or not to go off. With that said, I've seen a crash from Alpinestars. It blew my mind. It was over probably 300 pages of a bunch of data from all 4 of their sensors. Dainese does the same thing. Like I was showing you earlier, the brains of the unit is going to be in the hump. In fact, to activate it, as I said, there has to be some mechanism to actually activate it. With this, it's going to be here. And then you know it came on. One other small feature with the Dainese is the Magello R. When you crash, that light will activate. That way, if you're in the street, in the ditch, in the road, especially if it's at night, you're going to light up the area. People can tell something's going on. That's another definite difference between the two. Anyway, I think we've gone over most of the pros and cons between both of these units. If you have any questions, be sure and post them up. Myself or one of the other employees will gladly answer them. And if you have any suggestions going forward on you want a head-to-head comparison, let us know. Like I said, the gist of this, they're both top of the line. Nobody else makes anything close to them. In fact, I'm aware of these are the only 2 that are in MotoGP. Alpinestars riders wear something now down to the elbows to the knees. They're testing the next generation of this vest. RS Taishi, Revit, other leather manufacturers are required to have an airbag. They're wearing the same one that you can buy. It's this vest right here. Dainese, they wear their own D-Air. But with Alpinestars, since it can go in different suits, if it's not an Alpinestars or a Dainese suit, in MotoGP, they're wearing this. These have saved a ton of lives, a ton of injuries. And like I said, MotoGP is required. It's pretty much the future. So if you have any questions, let us know. I'm Corey from Moto Mummy. Have a great day.